Alright guys, welcome back to the garden. A little bit of an update, go through some of the plants we're growing this year, and apologies about the mess around. Haven't had much of a chance to do the weeding around this year yet, but just a bit of an update. Have a look what kind of things we're growing, some of the progress of the plants. Of course, this is a very lived-in garden, so apologies about all the kids' toys everywhere. The kids do love getting out in the garden, so always happy to try and make it a tropical paradise for them. And this is the start of my garden here, and this is a third-year garden now, completely redone. And let's just have a little look around and see what we're growing. So this is Dicksonia antarctica. This is a 4-foot tree fern, new flush this year. And it had no fronds on it when we first got it. This is one of our yuccas that was rescued. It has now got 2 large flower spikes on it. Here we have Tetrapanix papyrifera. Again, new flush for this year. Already has a bit of a woody stem on it, and the leaves at the moment I'd say are around about 8 inches, but this will chuck out lots more leaf throughout the year, and hopefully we'll get a much higher woody stem on that. Right, here we've got the Butea capitata. It's a bit hard to get it in this light. It's got a decent sized trunk on it already, and this is in the start of a raised bed I'm putting back here, which is going to be more of a Mediterranean style, so thinking about things like agaves and cacti back here. Get the cordyline right at the back. Hopefully that will go quite high next to the shed here, and on this here you can see the drip line going into it, and that's got a soaker, using a soaker pipe throughout all the beds and then connecting it with the yellow line here. Starting on one of the back borders here, we've got the Musabastu hardy Japanese banana. The one on the right, tall one, is a 2nd year, and the tall one in the middle is a 3rd year. They were cut back to the ground last year, and this year we've been able to manage to save around about a 3-foot stem on that and about a 4-foot pseudo stem on that one. All the pups around it, again, were saved. You can see they've all come back and started chucking out. And you see down here we've got some pink china growing. This is a new one again this year. We've also got the purple persicaria. I believe it's the dragon's heart. And you can just see here I've installed a drip line that goes all around the beds here. And this is just using some old hose pipe which is going to be buried, connects, and then that runs all along the back and all throughout the beds here. Got a blue Festucia down at the bottom here, and then Canna Pretoria, again a new clump for me this year, and this one is again starting to really come out and show its face. Just behind that you've got the Crocosmia, a small Trachycarpus, the blue hostas. I've also got the Onset Morelli, which was overwintered. Again, this is a 2nd year plant now. And apologies all the mess in the garden, guys. There's a lot of weeds out here. You've got your giant rhubarb. Also got a small clump of black bamboos in the back here. Again, we've got the large yucca that was saved, and you can just see on this one here, it's got quite a large trunk, and that one's split into a triple head and then gone up again higher, and you're looking at nearly about 6 foot on that one. And here, this is the top bed. In the back you can see a 5-foot Trachycarpus. We've got the Forestii in the middle here, which is really quite stunning when it does chuck out the new leaves, and they're sort of a yellowy red. Down here we've got a large old azalea, which is a pink one, and then just behind that, which is getting very overgrown, you got the white azaleas. Scanning over here, got a small pond and a cat drinking out of it, which is our cat, so it's okay. On the back here, we've also got the rhododendron, the hart's tongue fern in the middle. Now this whole bed, we're kind of trying to work out what to do here, because it's a lot of summer flowers and sedums, and it's looking very messy now. So we're going to probably try and dig this out. Any suggestions, drop in the comments, things we could do on that. Down here you've got a very small Waggy princeps cross. So Wagneranus, Trachycarpus wagneranus princeps, This one is a very small plant, and I'm just hoping it's going to keep pushing out. I've also got the Fern here. This is, I can't remember the exact name on this one, but it's a silver one, spotted B&M, so one you can easily find down at your local stores if you're in the UK. And moving across here, we've got the lupins that have come out. And again, maybe not the most tropical plant, but I do love the color flush that it does provide. Moving up here into the water feature, again, very overgrown, but this was designed as a sempervivum, sedum type feature. So we've got these growing all around here and all over the rockwork here, and just back there you can see the tree fern again. And within the water area, we've also got the water irises. Again, these were saved from a garden. Moving over to here, let's just have a quick look at the shamrops. Again, this is a very, very old set of shamrops, and you can see all the flowers coming out and on this triple trunk here. Here we've got a small clump of Crocosmia. This was the only Washingtonia clump from B&M that survived over the winter out of 5 different pots, so not sure that I'm going to be trying this again. If this does come back, we'll let it grow, but other than that, we're probably going to dig it out and get rid of this one. If it doesn't do well this year, I think the fence is probably the savior here that kept it growing. Small little bed here, which is underneath a very large bay tree, which I'll try and pan out to in a minute. We've got a very small 4-inch Dixonia. This one, very, very small trunk, and it is putting out new fronds, and this was a log when it arrived this year. I did order 2. One just really hasn't done anything, so I'm a bit worried that it dried out perhaps in shipping, or you know, just never was alive in the first place. Let's move out from this. And again, guys, sorry about the mess here, but this is that large bay tree going all the way up. A bit hard to see here. Got a nice sort of canopy growing along here. This is the bar area in the back, and if you look down here, we've got where we are adding in our large pond here. In the front here, we've got our large bamboo clump, which goes all the way across. Lots of new growth this year. We've got ones reaching to the sky now, so we're going to see how tall this gets. And you can see in the center down here, it's really starting to form a nice sort of clump. And all the new canes are some of the largest it's had, so looking forward to seeing this one this year. In this small bed here, we've got the Xanthodecia or Calda lily, which has come back beautiful this year. Really, really lovely growth, and that's just sat right underneath the 5-foot trachy here. There is actually a what's left over, and I'm going to see if this does anything this year, but this was a Cycas revoluta purchased from Morrison, so not a lot invested into it, but we'll see if this will reflush, as it's lost all of its leaves over the winter, and we've trimmed this one back. I've got one more where I've left the leaves on just to get an idea to see if it does affect the plant coming back. So again, a bit of an experiment at this time. In this small bed underneath the trachea, again, you can see here the leftovers of the Washingtonia clump. I've got also here, this is a cordyline, standard green form. It cut back to the ground last year, and this year it's come up with about 3 to 4 new heads. So we're going to see again how this kind of all ties together once it all comes in here. Now down here I've got a Yucca, which was cut from the main plant last year. I've literally just shoved it into the dirt, didn't do anything, rooting powder, nothing. Left it all summer, didn't seem to do much, and now we've got a couple little flower spikes coming out. Again, another clump of it here, rescued from the main mother plant, which I'll show you in a second. And again, it's all shooted from the base here, so we're hoping that's going to really take off this year. Next to it, got a 1-foot trunk trachea, but about 4 foot high to the tip of the leaves. This was a B&M purchase again, $37.50. I think these are brilliant buys at the moment, as they're going to grow massively quick. These would be pot grown as well, as opposed to some of the larger ones you might find, which are dug up from a field, leaving a very, very small root ball, so really pushing the plant back. You know, to get it going. So I would recommend, if you're looking at Trachycarpuses, these specimens here that you can get for just under £40 at the garden center B&M, you'd be doing yourself well to get one of these in the ground early, and you should get a lot of growth this year. Next to this, we've got the hosta variegated. I'm trying a new bed style on this and using just like a sand bed. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like this, but I'm going to see how that all turns out. Now this is the Dixonia that just really hasn't done anything this year. Very, very small, as you can see. It had one tiny little green one that came out when it arrived, and this hasn't done anything. You can actually see where it's damaged and stopped it from growing. Next to that, we've got the Hart's Tongue Fern, a few of the shuttlecock ferns, and this is kind of a little fern bed underneath this rhododendron here. And I'll just pan out to go up to the rhododendron, and you can see lovely purple flowers on this. And panning across here, you've got this. Sorry about all the mess in the garden, guys. We've got the kids playing and everything else. Looking back over the mini golf course here, just a quick pan around. It really does need a bit of work this year, but we've been focusing on other areas for now. Alright, so in the center bed here next to the mini golf course, we've got a few shuttlecock ferns. We've got the Canna Pretoria clump coming up. You've got the return of the hostas, another small yucca offset, which is again just cut off from the main plant, dug in the ground, and that was it. Also got the phormium here, some of the grasses and variegated grasses. I've got another yucca coming up, and just on the edge of that, if you pan around, we've got the bamboos, golden bamboos coming back up here in the middle on a clump, and looking back onto the mini golf course here. Here we've got a blue fern, or it is a house plant, but I'm trialing it out as summer bedding this year. I think it was only £8.50, so these aren't a massive investment, but quite pretty leaves, and something just a bit different really in the little fern patch here. Panning over, another one of the yuccas that was saved, and we've got the celebration roses and a large clump of hops. I find these to be great plants, whether they're tropical or not. Quite nice leaves, and it chucks out loads of growth within 1 year. So this has come up from the ground this year. This is about a 5-year-old clump now, and it's already gone to that. It looks very messy, but once you get it trailing along the fence and the actual hops come out on it, very pretty, very florally, great smell, great doer in the garden really. Just behind that, we've got another yucca, which is putting on a reasonable sized trunk. Again, this was a save from another garden, free on Facebook. Panning across here, we've got lots of iris clumps. Now these are going to be removed. I'm not quite happy with them there. They just have always looked a bit of a mess. So we're going to try and figure out what to do with that. Panning over here, we've got the Trachycarpus princeps hybrid. Underneath in the leaves here, got a lovely little blue, and it really comes into show once it gets a bit bigger. That's a very small tree at the moment, but we'll see how that one goes. Looking onto the front bed here from the back now, you can see where we've got some stability posts around the tree fern as it's new this year. Will take a little time to root. This is a bamboo grass, again, second year. Panning here, just hidden inside here, we've got the Musa sycamensis, or Bengal tiger. Really lovely coloring on that one. Down just tucked in here, we've got the phormium coming up again. Again, hopefully that will put on some great height and really fill up that area. Next to that, we've got the patch of the yuccas. And again, lots of new growth coming out here. I think we're going to get some lovely flower spikes out of that one. Puts out beautiful white flowers every year, and it's a fantastic plant. Here on this back bed, we've got some clumps of golden and green bamboo. Scanning across, I've got a tree here that's a bit of a experiment. You can see where I've twisted it all around itself, just seeing if that'll form a unique trunk as it gets a bit older. Very small, but we'll see how that grows. Next to that, some of the foxglove, another 1-foot Dixonia antarctica tree fern. That was a save, and on this one here, we've got some new fronds coming out of last year's fronds. So I'm hoping that again we can really put some energy into this plant and get it chucking out the frond size that it should do. Sat next to that is your bamboos again, and this creates a really nice canopy over the tree fern to keep it protected throughout the winter. Down here, as you can see, we've got yuccas. You've got the Fatsia japonica, which has come up nice, and excuse all the weeds in the garden here, guys. Going across, got the heuchera that's come up nice, and another this would be the Azalea japonica, nestled in with some ferns as well. And this is just the back of the pond area, so this is all going to be taken back anyway and redone. And looking across there, you can see where we've got that large area for this pond to go in. And you can see the new Trachycarpus there. That's about a 6.5-foot trunk. Another B&M grab, which was a bargain for that size. And just a last sweep across the back bed here, guys. Of course, thanks for watching. Any sort of comments or suggestions that you may have regarding the garden, plants, or anything like that, certainly let us know. And of course, thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time.